Hi, I'm Cy Jenkins with a video about why I do what I do on Flickr. Well, that's part of what it's about. Mainly, it's about playing with my photographs, using some new tricks that I've learned, and promoting my Indiana neighborhood. This is one of my oldest pictures, a print I scanned and colorized after I found it in a closet when we moved into our current home more than 20 years ago. It's a photo of the home, and we believe of the family who had it built in 1890. Our house is in an historic district in Indianapolis called Woodruff Place, originally a small town of residences only, marketed to well-heeled Hoosiers in the early 1870s. This lithograph, which I also colorized, shows how the lots were advertised to attract wealthy families to an exclusive neighborhood then on the outskirts of a busy city. It took decades to attract enough families to occupy all the lots, and today Woodruff Place is not only filled, but much more affordable than it was at the start. We don't have many movers and shakers anymore, and it's located near the middle of that busy city, not the outskirts. However, it still offers many of the amenities of the founders, and in any season, if you're an amateur photographer, it provides plenty of subjects for your camera. Nature, after all, doesn't know that the rich folks moved out long ago, and the people who replaced those families in their magnificent Victorian homes throughout the passing of years and seasons quickly learned that they had discovered one of the best-kept secrets of central Indiana, especially in late spring and early summer, around the time of the Homes Tour and the Woodruff Place Flea Market. The annual flea market is actually the reason I'm making this video, which in a little while, I'm afraid, will degrade into a shameless display of self-promotion. But first, I have other fish to fry. I started the piece with an old photograph I had restored and colorized. And if you know anything about colorization, you know that you can't stop at just one. I'm not sure why I like to add color to black and white photographs, but I know that Winston Churchill, there's a youthful photo of him coming up here, painted to control his depression, the black dog, as he put it. I've never been diagnosed with depression, but painting pixels does make me sleep better. Perhaps because I think most of the photographers shooting the pictures would have used color film if they'd had it. I especially like to paint photos taken during the Great Depression. There are tons of those images at the Library of Congress, mostly public domain photos in large file formats and free for downloading. Even if you don't own a camera, you'll find lots of images to play with and in the process, perhaps, to help preserve a bit of American history. Which brings me back to the Woodruff Place Flea Market and promoting it. The Victorian Emporium, as someone labeled the event many years ago, has been a rite of spring in our neighborhood for almost 50 years. Thousands of people flock to it on the first weekend of June, the week after the Indy 500. It's certainly a slower pace in the race to summer, and it doesn't cost anything to get on the track to explore what's here. And that's what a lot of people do, just walk around and look for that undiscovered treasure. Of course, they're also looking at the neighborhood itself and the antiquities that give it its character. And when the visitors tire of walking and shopping, they can rest in the shade of our esplanades or in the coolness of one of our 9-century-old fountains. I think a big part of the attraction is the comfort of continuity, a direct connection with other caretakers who've come and gone. You see, the neighborhood and the flea market seldom change from year to year, except maybe for the photo wall we've erected the last couple of years, or the street dancing next door at 3 in the afternoon on both days of the flea market. We didn't used to see that. Mountains should tumble to the sea. Right now, the 2017 edition of the Woodruff Place Flea Market is still months away, but we've already started practicing for it. I don't know how many Woodruffians are inside their homes dancing now, but I'm sure some are getting their sales stuff ready, or at least thinking about it. At our house, that means preparing to put up another wall, and this year, I promise, we'll make another neighborhood like Lockerbie pay for it. We had robotic help this time around because we figured there'd be a shortage of immigrant labor, which means we'll have to raise our prices. But I can tell you now that by the time the work is done, we're going to have the best picture wall you've ever seen. I mean, it's going to be great. Again, just like our country. And beautiful, too. Totally. Believe me. Believe me.